Coming up next.
If you are doing a direct job now, currently, you are doing a direct task that maybe you're a personal assistant that used to maybe write letters, write emails, maybe book appointments and so on. Definitely your job is going to go if you do not upskill yourself. And how is it going to go now, even with common of a conversational AI, chat GPT, or bad for Google?
Hi there and welcome to this podcast. I am Andrea Locker.
And I'm Diana Ayo. Thanks for tuning in. On the Afro Tech Talk podcast, we speak to tech experts, individuals in the tech space, as well as young people about the latest trends and innovations in Africa to explore how tech is transforming their society. We filter our guests' profound insights into actionable guidance, empowering listeners to find inspiration and actively participate in the ongoing tech revolution.
If you are new to the show or would want to recommend our podcast to your friends and family, our starter packs are a great place for you to get hooked. We understand that it can be a bit hard to get started, so for this, we have our episodes segmented into different topics that will have you started right away. Visit afrotechtalk.africa.
Okay, thank you very much, Idris, for coming onto this podcast. Kindly just let your audience there know a bit about you.
Idris Aminu Idris. I'm the CEO and founder of the CEO's Planet, which is actually a tech and business consulting company that focuses on revolutionizing the way business owners do work so that they can have ultimate business control using cutting-edge technologies. And I'm also into data science and artificial intelligence with Gisma University of Applied Sciences in Germany. And also not leaving my work that I'm doing in terms of AI for creativity with Stimulation Limited in Nigeria, whereby we foster AI for creativity to young minds. And also not leaving the one and only Marie Fasasa Academy. You know, we are kind of trying to see how we're going to work together. We're already working together to see how prompt engineering and artificial intelligence can be of use to the people in the sub-Saharan Africa. So I think that should be just a brief about me.
Thank you, Idris. Now that you mentioned something that has caught the world by storm, taken everyone, and swept them off the feet, could you kindly provide a brief introduction to the concept of artificial intelligence and its origin for our listeners who might, not be familiar with it?
Okay, yes, I'll be happy to. Artificial intelligence, which is actually my field, or say AI, basically is the science of creating intelligent machines that can simulate human-like thinking and decision-making processes. So it's basically like teaching computers to learn, adapt, and make predictions. So the origin of AI dates back to the mid-20th century when computer scientists started envisioning machines that could mimic human intelligence. And one of the early breakthroughs was the development of the first chess-playing computer program in the 1950s, which I think it was the IBM. Yes, an IBM engineer named Alex Bereston created this world's first fully automated chess engine. And the engine was built for the IBM 704 mainframe and took around 8 minutes per move, capable of playing an entire game. This engine, is remarkable. It's very interesting one. It marked the real beginning of chess computing. That was, I think, beginning of when the breakthrough of AI in the 1950s.
Thank you so much, Idris. So would you also care to elaborate on how that got onto the continent as well?
Adoption of AI in Africa has to do with the focus of solving local challenges, because the Africa's journey with AI began with that solving the local challenges that we have over here on the continent. For example, in agriculture, organizations started using AI to optimize crop yields and detect diseases in crops. As we have seen that it has happened in Ghana, it has happened in Rwanda, and more countries are trying to see how they will adopt that. And even in healthcare, AI helps with early disease detection of telemedicine, and so on. And we can see like Egypt is currently on that scale. And the driving force behind AI adoption has been the need to address pressing issues, and of course, the enthusiasm of young African innovators eager to make that difference or on that level.
Okay, so when you mention about telemedicine, yeah, could you also maybe just give us a brief of what that really is?
Okay, so basically, when we talk about telemedicine, we trying to say it can be said to be using telecommunications technologies to support the delivery of all kind of medical, diagnostic, and treatment related services, usually by doctors. So I think that has been very very easy with the coming of AI to actually automate the whole process and make it easier and faster, because it's actually trying to see how it will make the human intelligence what human can do, and the AI can actually do that in terms of the distribution.
Okay, so when we talk about AI, it goes without saying, some of the fears that people are attached to using AI. Could you just start by highlighting to us a few of those fears that are actually attached to artificial intelligence or AI?
This is actually an interesting question, and it's a question that almost everyone that is not involved into AI normally asks. I've had these questions a lot, which actually I find it very important, and which everyone should be aware of. I will call it the risk and challenges that has to do with AI. So while AI has incredible potential, it's essential to manage risk. Yes, there are AI ethics and safety. The AI ethics and safety are paramount. So when it comes to jobs, AI can automate certain tasks, but also creates new opportunities. For example, in customer service, AI can handle routine inquiries, allowing humans to focus on complex issues. So it's more about job transformation than job elimination. So we should all be thinking of, if I thinking of the what ifs. What if AI take away my job today? Why can't you think of what if AI transformed my job today? If you're a customer care service provider, or you are an accountant, how can you leverage AI into your own field? Because in today's world, if you are not actually using AI, you are not adopting AI into your own field. Someone that is actually using AI is the one that will replace you, not the AI itself. So you see, AI is just like a medium for you to transform your own field. So it's more of job transformation than job elimination.
Okay, you mentioned something about agriculture quite early about when you talked about Rwanda and a few other countries. Yeah. So could you also care to elaborate how AI is really having a great impact around those sectors? And you cannot also just limit yourself to agriculture. You can span outside other sectors as well.
Yeah, AI has really touched a lot of factors, a lot of sectors in here in Africa. Even here in Nigeria, I could remember even as I was with Stimulate, about 2 years ago or so, we built an AI software, which was actually for students here in the West Africa. So it's Blueberry. That was the name of the product. Blueberry is basically an exam preparatory tool for WAEC, which does with African Examination Council, the JAM, and the NECO. These are the 3 exams that you need to do before you go into the university here in Nigeria. And this software actually kind of automates the whole process. You can find all the past questions on the product, and you can take an exam simulation. And it has an AI chat system like ChatGPT, whereby when you ask it any question, it's going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to solve that question. to give you the way like a whole chat conversational AI is. That's how the whole chat system on the product is. And the exam simulation has been designed, in a way, the architecture has been designed whereby if you're able to take the courses that are on that product and you take an exam simulation with that product, you just predict their +5 -5, and then that's the score. We will score within that range in your final exams. So you see, in terms of education, AI has actually impacted here a lot here in Africa, and there are a lot of products that has to do with AI, which I can see people are actually building, and that's for educational sector. And we have the financial sector, which is I will call the fintech now. Yes, I think currently when the GTEx Africa took in Morocco, I was seeing it over LinkedIn and Twitter, where we have a lot of brilliant minds that are actually building fintech products that are actually integrating AI into those systems, and they're trying to see how they revolutionize that aspect and see how we can have automated process of collecting money and receiving money. So AI has actually impacted a lot on that.
Thank you very much, Idris. I would also like to know what are some of the challenges that African countries have faced in adopting and integrating AI technologies, and how are these challenges being addressed?
That's an excellent clarifications, because there are a lot of challenges that have to do with African countries adopting and integrating AI technologies. And how are these challenges being addressed? First, I will say infrastructure. There is a lot of lack of infrastructure here in Africa. There is data access. There's no access to data, and digital literacy also is actually a major challenge. I'll come back and break that. However, you can see initiatives like affordable internet access and AI education program are helping overcome these obstacles. Related to this, let me come back to infrastructure. You see, the problem that has been facing this industry, which is infrastructure. The countries here in Africa, they are not looking towards seeing how that can be a major goal, that if they solve not only the AI sector, a lot of sectors, the industrial sector is also going to be touched. And AI better works with already existing systems. If there's already infrastructure in place and our countries are industrialized, AI systems will better work there. Like, for example, now you take Nigeria as a case study. Industrialization is not actually more than 20, let's say 30%, compared to a third world country like if you take UK as a case study. When you're trying to integrate an AI software in UK today or in Germany, it's actually going to be much more easier than that of Nigeria, because you have to start building from the scratch already. If you are going there, the system has already been built, and we are just going to just add the implementation of the AI. So I think with that, in terms of infrastructure, that can be solved. And when we talk about data access is actually a very another robust problem, because there's no way you can work with AI without data. AI can never work without data, and there's no even internet. There's lack of internet access, which is a major problem here in Africa. Which data having data access to information, the things we don't even have them captured. A lot of things are not captured. We don't have the data. Even common hospitals, if you go there, everything is manual. Before you find maybe a data that has been used for a patient for the last 10 years, you are going to suffer. You might not even find it. We just do things manually here over. If you go to the local areas, communities, if you go there, you find that a lot. So in terms of data access, it's kind of very poor. But I can see a lot of countries are actually working on the digital transformation, like Nigeria currently with the current administration. I see that they are trying to see how they are going to leverage digital economy in terms of that, and other countries also. Like in Uganda, I was following the news that has to do with the Ugandan digital economy. They're also trying to trend on that scale. So I think that's for that.
That's quite interesting. Idris, we have had a number of, people talk about AI and, some of its effects on the continent, especially in Africa. We've had people, have all these beliefs that AI has come to, take their jobs. People are going to become jobless. AI is going to do this and that. What are some of the risks that are associated with AI from your experience?
Okay, as I've said before, AI is more of job transformation than job elimination. If you look at it on that context, there's nothing that doesn't have risks and challenges in its own part. But from my own part, I see it as more of, in terms of job, I see it as more of job transformation than job elimination. How? If you are doing a direct job now, currently, you are doing a direct task that maybe you're a personal assistant that used to maybe write letters, write emails, maybe book appointments and so on. Definitely your job is going to go if you do not upskill yourself. And how is it going to go now? Even with common of a conversational AI, chat GPT, or bad for Google, I can do it myself. I wouldn't need a personal assistant that will do all those emails, those letters for me. I will just go on the AI, write my letters, write my emails, schedule my appointments, use maybe Calendly for my meetings and so on. So that's kind of automated. I'm going to lose my job in that aspect. But what if you as a personal assistant or an email writer or a content creator or a content writer, you upskill yourself. You are always learning or learning and relearning. You are always learning or learning, and you are upgrading yourself in the AI space and see how can you utilize these AI softwares that they are building. How can I integrate it? I as a content creator, I as a content writer, I as a personal assistant, how can I do it? Something that I can do in 5 minutes, I can do it in 1 minute. If I can do it in 10 minutes, I can do it in 2 minutes. So it's basically like that. And you can see that everything is automated for you and you're actually doing it better. And you're doing it so good. You're actually saving your job. You are transforming it. You are not eliminating it. You can only eliminate. There's only job elimination if you are not upskilling yourself in whatever space you are doing, not only in terms of direct job, even in the AI space, for example. Now, as a case study, let's say you are a machine learning developer or a data analyst, I will say, if you are not upskilling yourself in terms of leveraging the new AI technologies, you're actually going to be left behind. Even if you're a data analyst today and you're not using AI softwares to do some kind of analysis and make your work easier, faster, I will see it as a waste because I cannot employ you and then you take a day doing an analysis. Why, if you use these AI softwares, you can finish it in an hour or 30 minutes, which I will make it actually faster and easier because it's kind of copying the way human intelligence is and make these processes very fast at large scale.
Okay, so Idris, we would also want to know, if there are any notable startups around AI, around this continent actually, that you could also let us know, and we can also see what role they're playing in as far as the field of AI is concerned.
Sorry, can you come again?
I was asking, could you be in the know of any startups around AI around the continent? And then we would be very interested to know. I'm sure our listeners would also want to know, and what role they are playing around AI.
Yeah, there are a lot of startups, potentials here here in Africa that actually played a great role in terms of AI and, let's say, transforming the digital economy at large. So if you look at Andela, Andela is actually doing a great work. They train software developers and startups like Flutterwave, which actually the same person does Andela does Flutterwave, and they're using AI for online payments. That's Flutterwave. They use AI for online payments. So these are one of the few, and you have other startups that are really really coming up. When you look at Stimledge as a case study here in Nigeria, is an edtech company where they leverage AI into their system, and they are looking towards how they'll build AI products that actually going to break through the market, like with that of Blueberry, which is one of them, and a lot more of them that are coming to. There's Cispay. There's this Cispay that actually took my mind where I GTEx in Morocco. They were one of the fintech startups that were actually very good because they were using a cardless payment system. A cardless payment system, that of like the ATM, but that one is kind of cardless. So there are a lot of these AI startups that are coming up, which they're actually leveraging in terms of the artificial intelligence.
And what are some of the future trends and opportunities that we should expect to see in the field of AI, especially in Africa, in the next few coming years?
We can expect AI to further transform education, which is one. Education is really important. That's, I think, for me, that's the first driving force that we should focus on here in Africa. Because without the education, nothing can be done. And AI can also maybe part of the future trend is enhancing public services. When these public services are enhanced, a lot of things will actually be easier for us here in Africa, especially because our public services are trying. I'll say that they are trying at the moment, but there's much to be done. And promotion of sustainable development. Sustainable development is actually another area that I see is part of the future trends here in Africa that can leverage the AI-driven innovation continue to shape Africa's future at large.
And finally, Idris, before we can actually wrap this up, what advice would you give to a young African who is really interested in pursuing a career around AI and also contributing to its growth in the continent?
Okay, I think my advice, and the advice I give every young person I do meet, is my advice is simple. Learn. That's the first thing. Learn. Always be eager to learn, or learn and relearn in whatever you are doing. Don't stick with the only knowledge you have. Always try to see how you upskill yourself. If you know this knowledge today, then try to see how you update it. If it is a software product, you see that it's actually updating, you have to update your app also, and that's how you should be updating your brain with knowledge. You should also experiment. Experiment is very important. Sometimes some things you don't actually know you have talent on them until you experiment it, you actually do it right. And collaborate. Collaboration is very important. When you do collaborate with others, that's when you get to learn some things, and they learn some things from you, and you work together and achieve a common goal. Because collaboration has a very high impact, especially if you're a young person. If you learn the act of collaboration, it will be very good for you at the long run. And don't be afraid to see. I think this is one of the things that young people actually see as a problem. When you feel, I think you think that's the end of it. That's not the end of it. That's the beginning. That's just the beginning. It has not even started. Because that failure will teach you a lot of valuable lessons that you learn tomorrow. If you try it, not actually make the same mistake. Fail until you succeed. That's the rule. And in terms of AI is a field with limitless possibilities. And Africa needs its young innovators to drive its growth. So when you learn, you experiment, you collaborate, you see that would have the AI field being filled up, because there are a lot of areas in AI whereby I'll be looking for a lot of young people over there in that sector, but I will see that there's none. It's a very hard something to find. Even like in a prompt engineering, as just I've been trying to see how I will look for a lot of prompt engineers in Africa, but prompt engineer is actually an alien something to them. Talking of AI, yes, they are kind of familiar with what AI is, but not completely. So we see that AI is something that we have to come together, collaborate, all of us can work this up together and see how can we come up with startups and companies that are actually going to be that of open AI, that of Tesla, and the rest. We need to have that in Africa, because that's where our digital economy is going to bring. Not talking of exporting talents to the abroad. We need to utilize our own talent over here, not to go there to the Europe or the US and be utilizing our talent over there.
Thank you very much, Idris. It's been a great pleasure having you on this podcast. Thank you for honoring our invite. And I'm sure our listeners out there could be interested in getting in touch with you, just in case they have further questions or clarifications that they might need. So how can they get in touch or reach out to you?
Yes, thank you for that and for sharing. Thank you for that and for sharing that. And I've started to see the bright future of Africa. So in terms of touching up with me, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can search Idris Aminu Idris on LinkedIn, and on Instagram at Idris Amin. That's IDRISAMINN_. That's me on Instagram, and I'm also on Twitter at Idris Amin 1. That's IDREESAMEEN then 1. Idris Amin 1. So I think with that you can always reach out to me, and I'm ready to answer on that too.
Thank you very much, Idris, and thank you to our listeners. We shall also drop those links to Idris's different handles into the description box. Thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure, and thank you.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'm excited to see this. So happy to see you again.
Just in case you have not yet subscribed to this podcast, please do subscribe, like, share, and follow on the different platforms.
This podcast is hosted and directed by Andrew and Diana, edited and produced by Marcus Studios for Afro Tech Talk.